On the Swedish west coast, where ancient stones, open fields and rocky landscapes meet the sea, there is a place where nature becomes part of the art. This is Pilane Sculpture Park on the island of Tjörn. In 2026, the landscape is transformed by the sculptural world of Tony Cragg, where organic forms, geometry and movement come together. Tony Cragg is one of Britain's most internationally recognised sculptors. Born in Liverpool in 1949 and based in Germany since the 1970s, Cragg has spent decades exploring the relationship between material, space and the human imagination. This is Paul. Its sweeping, rounded form seems almost impossible to separate from the landscape around it. The sculpture appears solid and heavy, yet its curves create a sense of movement, as though the material is flowing around an invisible center. At first glance, manipulation looks like a collection of twisting forms. But as the camera moves closer, something more human begins to appear. The bronze seems to twist, separate and push against itself. Forms resembling hands and fingers emerge from the surface, creating a feeling of tension, as if the sculpture is trying to break free from its own structure. This sculpture is called Masks. From a distance, it appears almost architectural, layers of rounded forms stacked into a single monumental shape. But look closely, and faces begin to emerge. And then, rising above the landscape, we encounter Dreamsleeper. At around 4.5 meters tall, it is one of the more striking vertical forms in the exhibition. Yet despite its size, the sculpture feels surprisingly delicate. Its thin structure seems almost a walk through the landscape. It was inspired by African neck rests, traditionally carved from branches, objects created to support the human body during sleep. Ever After feels almost as though it has been caught in a moment of rotation. The heavy material seems to spiral around an invisible center. There is a fascinating contradiction here. Something solid appears to move, and something massive appears almost weightless. Mean average seems to be caught between stillness and movement. Its large forms rise and curve like wine-shaped sand or mountains slowly transformed by time. But Pilane is more than one artistic voice. From Tony Cragg's exploration of form to the new interpretations of nature, light and space, the journey continues. A giant yellow butterfly has landed among the rocks of Pilane. Butterfly by Hägg takes the familiar form of a monarch and enlarges it to more than 2 meters in height. Surrounded by ancient rocks, the butterfly almost feels like a surviving creature from another time. Above the cliffs of Pilane, a strange new star appears to hover in the landscape. Morningstar, created by Eric Langert and Petersson, is a spherical form filled with shimmering colors and shifting light. At first, it feels playful and almost magical. But its name carries another meaning. The Morningstar is also the name of a medieval spiked weapon designed for close combat. Is it a shelter, a storage space, a secret room? Or has it always been here, hidden in the landscape? High on a rocky hill stands an airy silver tower. Inside its 4 modules, smaller forms appear to float freely within the structure. At first, the shapes seem purely abstract, but as we look longer, the human figure begins to appear, a body, a back, a seated or crouched form. A giant jackdaw has landed at Pilane, and Wolff's monumental bird transforms a familiar Scandinavian sight into something much larger and more symbolic. And finally, high on the tallest hill, Anna watches over Pilane. Jaume Plensa's monumental head is both immense and remarkably peaceful. Her eyes are closed, giving the sculpture a feeling of meditation and deep concentration. Standing against the open sky, Anna seems to exist somewhere between the physical world and something more spiritual. There is no movement in the face, yet it feels alive. Perhaps that is why the sculpture leaves such a lasting impression. It seems to ask us to stop, breathe, and look beyond what we can immediately see.